the ER anymore. Honestly, life has changed pretty drastically over the last year anyway. Let's get into it. Hey guys, it's been a while since we've had one of these car chats. Beautiful. So, I don't work in the ER anymore, and I don't want you to go crazy because I love the ER. I have a great respect for the ER, and overall the ER was a fantastic job. It was wonderful, but honestly, I just wanted to transition. I had been working in the ER for a little while, and I got a huge influx of pediatric patients. When I was in nursing school, I swore, I was like, I will never work with pediatric patients. It'll rip my heart in half, I'll hate it, whatever. I remember one of my teachers looked at me and was like, you're gonna be such a good peds nurse one day. And I was like, excuse me? She said, you're gonna do so good in pediatrics. And I was like, I don't wanna work in pediatrics. So we get into this conversation, and lo and behold, she saw the future before I did, because I had this influx of pediatric patients in the ER, and I worked in an adult ER, but we were like a go-between for bigger like trauma centers and bigger hospitals. If we had any pediatric injuries that needed stabilization prior to going somewhere else, they would stop with us. Obviously, you don't control what walks in the front door, so we always had parents coming in with kids regardless. My coworkers knew that I really just had this like affinity for the kiddos, and so I always got placed with the pediatric patients. Honestly, I was like one of the few who truly enjoyed it, because it's not everyone's cup of tea. Working with kids can be very challenging, both physically and emotionally. So they knew I liked it. I got a lot of kids, and then I was like, why don't I just go work with kids full time? Like, why don't I, transition this a little bit? So I went and got a job in a pediatric ICU at a bigger trauma center in my area, and I loved it. I loved it so, so much. I'd only been working in the pediatric ICU for like 6 months maybe, and we decided to move. So we've since moved back to Virginia. Where we are located in Virginia right now is like between bigger trauma centers. So the hospitals near me don't have pediatrics at all. Everything is taken to either of these trauma centers, either north or south of me, and they're about an hour, hour and a half in either direction. I really thought that I wanted to stay in pediatrics. I knew that I was probably gonna go to a pediatric ER instead of a pediatric ICU again. I really still like the quick turnover of the ER and like the fast pace of working in an ER. So I knew going back to an ER, but still maybe focusing in kids, was gonna be exactly where I needed to be. Like I mentioned, we were still in this place where I didn't really have access to peds in general, and I just didn't really see myself going back to the adult ER right now. I'd really loved working with kids and wanted to stay working with kids. So I was like, what is next for me in this vast journey of nursing? And then a light bulb went off. I had a friend in nursing school who owns a med spa. When I started in nursing, part of the inspiration for that was actually a derm NP that I saw as a teenager, because we all know I've struggled with my skin and my face, and I'm still struggling with my skin and my face, especially after everything that's gone on this year. So I'm figuring it out, and we'll talk about that in another video. But I saw derm NP as a teenager, and I was like, maybe I'll get into derm one day and do like aesthetic stuff. That might be really fun. And then we were making this transition. We were coming back to Virginia, and I was like, now's the time. There is no better time than now to explore other facets of this career. So I reached out to her, and don't get me wrong, we were not like close friends. So I don't think there was any like bias associated with this. I went in for an interview, we talked, I talked to her, I talked to one of the managers there. Overall, we all just really hit it off pretty well, and she offered me a job. So I have been managing and working as an aesthetic injector in a med spa since about July of this year, 2023. So yeah, I have gone through like so many transitions this year. This year has been a lot, and it's been pretty heavy emotionally and physically. I felt a little weighed down, and I feel like I'm in a happier form of medicine, and I know everyone says that, and don't get me wrong, it's not like it's just like rainbows and butterflies and shit. People are crazy. People are crazy in the ER, and people are crazy in aesthetics. You're just, they're crazy about their face, or this should look different, or how much it costs, or whatever. So there's always like stress and different emotions associated with the job that you're doing, but ultimately I am definitely happy right now working in aesthetics, and it's been super cool to learn a lot of different stuff. I've been working on like all of our lasers, radio frequency stuff. I do Botox. I'm training on filler right now. So there's just a lot going on, which is like fun, and it keeps my brain distracted, and it's just like, it's good for me. Right now, I'm super happy doing what I'm doing. That's kind of the update on the jobs that I've cycled through this year. Honestly though, as a nurse, you're never wrong for trying something new. Working as a nurse for the first time in general can be pretty overwhelming. So you're not wrong for transitioning through jobs. It's also, as a nurse specifically, and I do think this applies to other careers, but as a nurse specifically, you kind of have to change your job a little bit more often than one would, I think, working in different worlds. You're gonna maximize your income that way, and you're just gonna maximize the benefit that you get. Unfortunately, loyalty to a company doesn't necessarily mean that you're the most taken care of. So nurses transition through jobs a lot. I actually have a friend, but she's transitioned. She's been a nurse, I think, for like a year and a half now, almost 2 years, and she's done 3 jobs. I also think that happens in her trying to like figure out what she wants. So I'm not saying to, move jobs every 6 months, because you need to give yourself time to get comfortable, to learn what you're doing, and to really be strong at what you're doing. And honestly, in nursing, it's so different everywhere you go that it's gonna take some time. Give whatever job you're doing like a year or 2 to kind of like really test the waters, let things sink in and see how you feel, and then be like, okay, well, I know this isn't for me, or I'm recognizing a piece of this that I'm really enjoying and other parts that I'm not. So how can I capitalize on that like piece instead of only getting a little bit? Where can you get a lot more of that like satisfaction in your job? But as nurses, transitioning is so normal. So we'll see. Who knows where I'll be in 2 years? I don't know. But I do know one thing. I'll still be on YouTube, because that's what I'm trying to do, girl. That's what I'm trying to do. Anyway, I am getting ready to go see my friend's daughter in a little play in town, so that's gonna be fun. I'm not gonna take you guys with me because I don't know if I can record that, and it's people's kids. That feels weird. Also, I want you to know that I will be trying to get videos up every Monday, and I'm back on Instagram and like, revamping all this stuff. So check me out. I'll link one of my other videos somewhere down here for you to check out. My Instagram handle will be somewhere as well. So go check that out, and I will see you beautiful people in my next video.